Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, DwyerVIP.com for premium picks. Dwyer Boxing on Roku, private channel. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. From time to time, here online, I'll recommend plays where I think the guy will actually lose the fight. Right? But keep in mind, when you're trying to make money, you're really looking for value. So when you find a favorite who is a 25-1 favorite, and let's say you believe, doing the math based on your analysis of the fight styles and the fighters' histories, their strengths and weaknesses, you believe that that guy stands, let's say, a 20% chance of losing the fight, right? A decent enough chance of losing the fight if it goes a certain way, if it goes a certain pace. If you believe that, then quite frankly, that's a compelling bet to make on the underdog, right? Because the market is giving the underdog a 4% chance of winning the fight. And the casino is giving you a 20% chance of winning the fight. If you can hedge the play somehow, then the upside is compelling. You need to take the guy who you think is going to lose the fight. If the odds offer so much value that you're being compensated for the risk. Now, I believe such an opportunity exists in the upcoming fight between a fighter I have on my pound-for-pound list, Lucas Matthysse, and unheralded Mike Dallas. Right now, Mike Dallas, right now, according to sportsbooks, according to oddschecker.com, is a 12-1 underdog. Bet $1, win $12. Right? Somehow Lucas Matthysse, books have spreads, is a 25-1 favorite in this fight. Now I fully expect Lucas Matthysse to go through Mike Dallas, to cut the distance between himself and Mike Dallas, and to get the KO. Right? Mike Dallas has been stopped before. Right? Mike Dallas lost to Josecito Lopez. He also lost a decision to Mauricio Herrera. So Dallas isn't unbeaten. Matthysse, as you may recall, has had some very questionable losses. That fight against Devin Alexander in St. Louis, Alexander's backyard, could easily have gone his way. In the Zab Judah contest, one guy did hit the canvas. It was Zab Judah. Zab Judah built up an early lead, then was hanging on for dear life for several rounds. Right? An argument can be made, quite frankly, that Matthysse really has not lost legitimately. That if he had had more reasonable judges, or compassionate judges, however you want to look at it, they would have realized that Matthysse won those fights. Keep in mind, too, the dynamics of those fights. Matthysse was the underdog. He was the lesser-known fighter. If there's a bias in judges toward favorites, particularly crowd favorites, then that bias worked against Lucas Matthysse. Right? Matthysse hits hard with both hands. In my opinion, he's one of the hardest punchers, pound for pound, in boxing. Right? You have to think of him the same way you think of guys like, in my opinion, David Haye. Right? Very hard puncher. Canelo, very hard puncher. In my opinion, pound for pound, Lucas Matthysse is on par with those guys. I believe Mathisse's best attribute, though, isn't even his punching power. It's his ability to efficiently apply pressure. In other words, when you're facing him, you're under a lot of pressure, but he's not spending a lot of energy. In other words, even guys with quicker hands like Zab Judah and Devin Alexander find themselves backing up, right? Find themselves getting cornered by Matthysse without Matthysse running around the ring, right? Mathisse's pressure is kind of like that slow pressure that eventually breaks pipes. I believe that he simply wears out most of these guys, and I believe his punching power is the kind of punching power that catches attention early. Keep in mind, Devin Alexander was down when he fought Alexander, just like Zab Judah was down when he fought Zab Judah, right? These guys don't go down every fight, right? They were hit with huge punches. Quite frankly, you know, you really have to wonder what would happen if Matthysse ever did increase his pace, because he certainly has the knowledge of how to cut off the ring. Here's the problem. Here's why I feel that Mike Dallas has about a 20% chance of winning this fight. Considerably more of a chance than the casinos have priced the fight. Dallas is slick. If there's a way to beat Matthysse, because Matthysse is so leisurely in the ring. I mean, Matthysse looks at home in the ring. He's never in a rush. He's trying to walk you down, but he's not in a rush to do it. It's kind of like a slow motion, more precise version of Antonio Margarito, right? Because Matthysse is so leisurely, a slick fighter with a good jab and some elusiveness, who can actually tag Matthysse with the jab as he comes in, and who can back up while shooting the jab, and who has a more crowd-pleasing, judge-friendly style. In other words, whether he's as effective as Matthysse or not, he looks flashier. He looks like he's putting on more of a show, right? He's popping the jab. He's moving his upper body. When the punches come in, you see him rolling with the punches, right? He's just easier to score than a subtle fighter like Matthysse, especially since Matthysse is just leisurely, right? Matthysse has explosive punching power, but he himself is not explosive. He doesn't have explosive hand speed. He doesn't frame things. In other words, you know how some fighters come in, they hit you, then they take a step back, then they hit you again, and you're caught up in the moment. David Haye is excellent at framing, where he hits a guy, and then when he jumps in, you see the excitement on David Haye's face. And then he opens up and you see the hand speed, right, to go with the power. Look at the Enzo Maccarinelli fight, right? And you realize that David Haye is in the moment. That's not Lucas Matthysse, right? Lucas Matthysse is the kind of guy who's standing in front of you, right? Then he hits you. You're badly hurt. His facial expression doesn't change, right? He hasn't reached a point yet where he's a showman for the fans, right? He doesn't look excited. So you're in the crowd, and if the other fighter plays it off, in other words, the other fighter gets hit with a brick, if the other fighter stands there like the punch didn't really hurt him and doesn't stagger, it's not clear that the punch hurt him, right? It's only when you see a Devin Alexander go down, right, or a Zab Judah go down, that you think, man, this guy hits hard, right? Because Matthysse doesn't wind up. He has built-in leverage, right? We know he hits hard because of the knockout percentage. We know he hits hard because he has dropped some guys multiple times with excellent chins, right? We know he hits hard. But because he has the built-in leverage and because he's nonchalant, it doesn't look that way. So there is, in my opinion, a 1 in 5 chance that Mike Dallas outslicks Lucas Matthysse. In other words, pops a jab, looks prettier than Matthysse, style-wise, then is able to outwork Matthysse behind a very good jab with the ability to back up while throwing the jab, right? Since Matthysse never looks in a hurry, if Dallas can step forward and tie Matthysse up when Matthysse comes inside and then back up while popping a jab, I believe some judges are going to be convinced that Mike Dallas was the more effective fighter. The bet I'm recommending, and it's a high-risk play, keep in mind, it takes someone who's crazy to recommend that you put money on a greater than 10-1 long shot, but that's what I'm doing, right? The bet I'm recommending is Mike Dallas to win. You don't have to cut any part of that bet. You don't have to say Mike Dallas by decision, Mike Dallas by KO, because you're already getting better than 10-1 odds, right? You're already being richly compensated. The bet I'm recommending is Mike Dallas to win, straddled against Lucas Matthysse by KO. I think Matthysse gets the KO. Matthysse by KO, you're getting significantly better odds than the 25-1 on Matthysse to win. Right? I believe Matthysse gets the KO. But I want the upside if there is an upset. Let me also point out, too, that because you're getting such huge odds on Mike Dallas, you can actually structure the play, do the math, figure out the expected winnings. You can structure the play where you make money if either Mike Dallas wins the fight or Lucas Matthysse gets a KO, right? As long as you're getting better than 12-1 odds on Lucas Matthysse by KO, you actually make money if either happens. But understand the risk. Matthysse in this fight, unlike the Zab Judah and Devin Alexander fights, Matthysse in this fight is the better known fighter. Right? If this fight goes the distance and the judges, go with the better known fighter in a close match, you lose it all. Right? If Matthysse knocks down Dallas several times in the fight, think Hassan Njikum against Peter Quillin. Right? If the slower, more mechanical guy gets several knockdowns in the fight, then even if Dallas is the better, flashier boxer, Dallas could well lose the decision and you would lose it all, right? Because keep in mind, you only have Matthysse by KO. Let me also close in saying this. Josecito Lopez and Mauricio Herrera, the two guys who Dallas lost to, are really aggressive fighters. Right? These guys are up on you. They're actually, in my opinion, more aggressive than Lucas Matthysse. Now, if you look at the Josecito Lopez fight, I think an argument can be made that Dallas was winning that fight at the time of the stoppage and that the stoppage was premature. Don't get me wrong. Dallas is clearly hurt, but the stoppage looked a little premature to me. All I'm saying is Mike Dallas, against an opponent slower paced than Herrera or Lopez, might be able to shock all of us. I believe he has a 20% chance of doing so. The casinos are giving him much less than that. I believe there's value here. To close, I like Dallas to win the fight, straddle against Matthysse by KO. I personally think Matthysse gets the KO, but I'm not going to turn my back on the value being offered by these odds. Dallas to win, straddle against Matthysse by KO. Let me know your thoughts. Leave your comments for me here online. Visit us at gamblersadvisory.com and on Roku at Dwyer Boxing. And let me know what I got wrong. Let me know what I got right. Win, lose, or draw, all I ask is that after the fight, you stop by with your post-fight comments. Also, to the YouTube nation out there, the hardcore boxing fans, if there are other fights like this one, where you believe there's value being offered in the odds, it can be, as in this one, an overwhelming favorite at 25 to 1 odds or whatever, right? Going up against a lesser known fighter. If you believe there's value that gamblers need to know of and can hedge, then I hope you leave that information, those proposed fights, in the comment section to this video. Let's try to alert other gamblers to possible plays, and let's try to share information. Thanks for watching.